And I believe we are now live for our season 3 finale live stream. If you can see us in the chat, say hey, say how's it going? Because guess what? I'm in charge of the controls right now. Ryan's not here. So say what's up in the chat and tell us that you can see us, and then we'll play the intro.
Are we live? Because I don't see us live. Am I crazy?
Are we live?
No one's saying anything in the chat.
So we'll see.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
We're live. Yeah, we're live.
We are live. You know what?
Right, here we go.
Oh, I can't. The chat's not working.
It's not working.
My chat's working.
Oh, yeah, I had it under private
Antonio
chat.
just said we can see you.
All right.
I'm gonna play the intro so that we can get started.
You might as well give up.
This is Immortal from the Guardians of the Globe, and you're listening to the Invincible Podcast with Bill, Ryan, Wyatt, and TJ.
Might have started playing the wrong video.
I was going to say, were you like watching Invincible?
No. There's a different video that maybe we'll play later too that Ryan was showing me that's in all of the assets here. And I clicked on the wrong one, and immediately it started. I was like, nope, that's not the one. That's not the one I'm supposed to click. Hey, everybody. Good to see everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for coming to hang out. So excited to be here. Ryan's in the chat. See, he's here. He's still here. I was just about to say,
Ryan, you're supposed to be at dinner. Ooh.
He put enjoy the show. He'll be home. #soon. He's like the Sequids. He's Russ Livingston right now in the sewers, just enjoying his dinner. He's out to dinner with family, but he should be here soon. And then I will bring him into the chat. I am at the wheels here of the live stream. I told Bill before we started, it feels like I stole the keys to Dad's car and I'm not 16. I should not be driving.
So we're all smoking and drinking and eating lots of snacks.
No,
Dad's away.
We're not doing that. We're just here to talk to everybody about the finale. We're in a post-finale release era. It is crazy to have gotten to watch everybody's reactions over the past, couple of days since it came out on Wednesday at midnight. And so it's been cool seeing everybody react to it, seeing the memes, seeing the different posts. But how are you guys doing? It's been a little while since we filmed, I guess, on Monday, since before the episode has come out. How's your guys' week been?
Yeah, so we talked to each other before the episode released and then not since after. And it has been a fucking blast seeing all the Jeffrey Dean Morgan love, like all the animation love, all the story, like people, the amount of people that are coming out of the woodworks talking about, oh, apparently that's not in the comic. Apparently, like there are so many people who don't read the comic that fucking loved it and got to experience what we experienced with the comic. It's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
This was the week of podcasting. Monday, we did the breakdown. Tuesday, we did a live.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday we took off, and then Thursday we were in the chat for the premiere of the breakdown.
Yeah,
and here we are. I mean,
we got it
doing this every day now. We do it for you guys. We do it for all
I
of you.
feel like whenever I talk to you, it's either, man, we podcast a lot, or you being sad that it's over, that we're done podcasting because the season is over. So we got to soak it up. We got to soak it up while it's happening. We're in the prime, end of season. I love that I already started to see memes. I saw somebody post the Nolan in the prison cell that just said, I think I miss my Invincible. Being sad that they get no more Invincible Thursdays for a while.
Great.
Just great. Yeah. Some of the memes have been fantastic. I love the official Invincible account tweeted out. It's a DJ Khaled album cover that the album is called Suffering from Success, but they photoshopped Conquest onto it. And he's just like posing with the jewelry on. It says Suffering from Success. Oh, so funny. But yeah. What's up, everybody in the chat? It's super good to see a lot of the same people that we saw hanging out yesterday for our full breakdown, but a lot of others as well.
So... is there anything every day is Invincible Thursday if you want it to be? Yeah. I mean, it's we will still have content like coming out.
Oh yeah.
Probably pretty regularly up until Battle Beast comes out, and then it's just going to be, monthly as well. So
yeah.
So is there anything that you guys wished was in the finale that we did not get?
This feels a bit of a leading.
It's not
question,
loaded. No,
Bill.
it's real life. Is there anything that like they changed or that you missed or?
Jose Rodriguez said that having relatively new coworkers come up to me and ask me if I've seen or heard of Invincible. Child, where you have just gone, I've already been. Like,
that's great.
It's even weirder. I mean, I would say at minimum just as weird.
Yeah.
When people come up to us and ask that.
Oh yeah.
I work at I'm a supervisor at a pharmaceutical company. And I recently just had someone kind of do that, but it wasn't Invincible. I was doing a one-on-one with one of my employees, and they mentioned Radiant Black. And I'm like, yeah, I know the creator. Me and my friends are actually in that comic book, which was kind of a weird thing. But yeah, another employee had an Invincible phone cover. So I was telling them about it. I don't tell people at work about the podcast. We try to keep that separate. There are a few who have found me, but yeah,
you lose some credibility for sure as a boss.
Yeah,
I'd be like, fuck you, DJ.
I don't act like a supervisor here on with all of my true friends in the chat. So
yeah, no, it is weird when somebody brings that up, when they bring up like, oh, have you heard about this show on Amazon called Invincible? And I immediately have the like excitement of like, oh, I get to talk to somebody about this, but then I have to pull back and be like, I don't know if you care about this how I care about this. I might over explain if I get a little too excited about talking to you about this. So yeah, it's always getting to see the show like blow up like that. Even like I think I mentioned on our last live stream, my like brother-in-law messaging me how much he's like freaking out that the Conquest stuff is happening, and yeah, it's been awesome to see, especially even TikToks of like especially the show only watchers, because after the Invincible War I was worried that like even after we watched episode 8, because we got to watch it, before everybody got to watch it at least. And I remember being a little worried that even though I was so satisfied by the finale, is it going to live up to people's expectations that are set by the Invincible War happening and then just everybody talking about Conquest? That even if you were, I feel like most show only watchers, if they're on the internet, they probably had at least heard the name Conquest and had seen some of that stuff before. So I was nervous about how some of the show only fans would react. And to see, like, I think I've sent you guys a couple of TikToks of, there's one of a guy just sitting in his car, just ranting about how impressive the finale was and how like they bring up the whole Conquest monologue. And he's like, and then my friends are telling me that's not even in the comic. So that's just the writers of the show just in their bag right now. Like, and it's just so cool to see everybody, even people who haven't read the comics, kind of in the moment, in the same feeling that we're at. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It really does feel like back in season 1 again, where it was just like, you can't believe how it's blowing up.
I saw a TikTok where a guy was talking. He posted that tweet that someone asked, like, was this something that was in the works that was just cut from the comic, or was it something new? And then Ryan Otley replied and said it's something completely new. Robert Kirkman is taking this as like a second draft to run through it. So he was reading these things and he was like, so the fact that they're like changing the comic so much, like, I can't wait. I'm going to maybe go and read the comic because it just seems like it's so different. So, like, for the record, like, it's not different. It's more. It's expanded upon, but they're not, like, changing things. Like, if you were to read The Walking Dead and then fucking watch that show after volume 2, it's completely changed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's just fun. All the takes and, like, all the different, like, perspectives is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like the way you were comparing it to Walking Dead. Walking Dead feels like they made a deliberate choice to go down a different timeline, right? Like that they chose to be like, what if this character lives and how does that affect things? And it really does like branch into a totally different story. And then you still see familiar characters from the comic pop into it. And granted, I could be speaking out of turn because I've fallen off of Walking Dead a long time ago and haven't watched in a while. But Invincible is more like, no, we're still going down the same path, but like we're gonna give a little extra seasoning onto some of these characters and some of these moments.
And
all my analogies are always about food. I feel like anytime I'm making an analogy,
you got to have some chicken nuggets ready to go, Wyatt. Seems like you're a little hungry.
I think I am. Maybe that's what it is.
I do think all the additions just hit really hard. We were just, what were we talking about? We were talking about like making clips or something for our TikTok, which you should definitely go check out our TikTok. A lot of good stuff there. But and we were talking about like old episodes that we've done and old interviews that we've done with Kirkman, and how there was one where Kirkman was talking about how I'm trying to remember what he said. He had something in mind for a conquest. I think this was our 100th episode where he's like I have ideas on what I want to do to add to conquest and change it or whatnot, and that's what we got. And I think that the majority of things that I've seen, TikToks and things, they've all been positive. I haven't seen really anything negative except for IGN, which I went on a Twitter rant a little bit on that. But other than IGN, who just, I don't know.
It's kind of, a lot of people are making a good point, like with IGN, that it's like when your little kid is throwing a temper tantrum, like don't even pay any attention to him because he's just going to ask for more attention. Let IGN have their fucking hate clickbait bullshit and move on. No one believes it. Not one person thought that episode was bad. We do have some fun comments that I want to go back to.
Yeah.
ATB said, I was always hoping Paul would finally relax and take off his blazer. I hate when people come into my house and don't take their jacket off. It's like it does something to my nerves. Like it makes me anxious. Like, please, are you staying? Are you going?
The one time I did notice that is the dishwashing scene where he still has the blazer on, but the sleeves are rolled up. And I'll be like, nobody keeps their blazer on to wash the dishes. All right. I don't wear a blazer that often, but I know you take it off if you're going to be washing the dishes. Let's see.
Who do you think will show up in the Burger Mart background for season 4 teaser?
We've talked about this a little bit. My leading theory, it would be a fun way for them to not just do another Burger Mart tease, but to also like reveal this character model, is older Oliver. Like have Oliver in his,
that's a good one.
In his updated suit, a little older and everything, and have it be Mark and Oliver talking, especially with they get the last scene other than the post-credit scene. It's the two of them talking about things. It would be cool to pick that up. They're in Burger Mart out on some adventures together or whatever. I would love that. I also just love Oliver. So, but there's always Dinosaurus.
Yeah, there was a ton of Dinosaurus. I mean, everyone thought that I was baiting for that. You know what I mean? Like,
when you were setting up.
But you know what? Going back to that, I feel like it was missing something, and I feel like that's selfish of me. But looking back, I wanted more Nolan, and I know that we're getting more Nolan and Alan and space stuff, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it was a little light. Like the whole season was just a little bit too light on the space stuff. I feel like they could have brought it in a few more times, but am I wrong? Or like, do you guys think?
No. And Sam even brought up that he knows like a lot of people. I think this is a lot of the show watchers too, at least what I've seen. We're expecting Nolan to show up in the finale to save Mark. Did you feel that during the comics? I never did.
No, never. I never felt that.
I definitely did. I don't remember exactly where. I mean, they've been following the comics pretty strictly here. So it's been like, it is that they break out of prison and then all the conquest stuff happens. But yeah, I never was necessarily expecting that, because I even feel like Nolan is still a very like conflicted character. I mean, if he showed up to Earth, I'm sure he would be helping Mark and helping stop conquest at this point. But no, I always viewed those as separate storylines, and they never established that like Nolan's on his way back. I can see from a show watcher perspective that like J.K. Simmons was such a huge part of season 1, and I think obviously we saw him a little more frequently in season 2, with like the big reveal of him in episode 4 of season 2. And then we see him at least a couple of times, right, in the prison in like the back half of season 2. So really the fact that we only got the one episode with Nolan in this season is a little bit surprising. Like if going into season 3, if I had to bet if we'd have, one or more episodes that had Nolan in it, I would have guessed it'd be more than that. But I also like that, like they they gave Powerplex its time to shine. They gave the Invincible War its time to shine. They gave Conquest its time to shine. Like I would prefer that than feel it jumping around too much.
Yeah. And I'm sure they pulled J.K. Simmons into the room and they're like, we need you to watch the animation for this this episode 8. Okay. Now there's no budget for you in this season, sir. Like we can pay you for a couple lines, but the rest of it has got to go to this.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, of course. I doubt that's how it works, but you know.
I feel like I thought you were just going down the path of like showing him the animation so that he knows like what cool scenes he has to look forward to for his character possibly next season.
Oh my God.
In another war that could be happening.
Be a good one. Yeah. Speaking of next season,
Cortez did bring up Burger Mart was destroyed in the Invincible War. Listen, if we can rebuild the Pentagon sign, we can rebuild Burger Mart.
Yeah,
I believe
Burger Mart's not going anywhere. Come on.
Yeah.
I do think back to the question, who will show up in Burger Mart? I think we will inevitably, I'd put money on it. I'd put a pizza bet on it. We're going to get Tech Jacket outside of his suit. We're going to get Zach Thompson.
Wow. You're doubling down on this is the thing I wanted to follow up on. And it reminded me when we were watching our episode premiere yesterday with everyone in chat, you had mentioned that you think Tech Jacket is going to be as big of a character in season 4 as Alan was in season 2. So are you saying we're getting a Tech Jacket title card? Because Alan got his title card in that, what was it, episode 3 of season 2? That would be awesome.
Possible.
Like I'd be over the moon if that happens.
I don't know how I feel about TJ saying something exciting that I want to happen. Like, I don't know if because everything that you say isn't going to happen normally happens. And then when I say I want something to happen, it doesn't happen. So what do I do? Two-time Jesus Christ.
Annual prediction champion. Right here.
So
respect the title.
Ali said, I think Tech Jacket is a girl in the show. No?
They do. She, whatever. It does look very feminine.
He's a she? She's a he, she? What movie?
He's a she.
Not you, TJ. Not you, TJ.
I have no idea.
Anybody? You don't know what that is? It's so in the chat. What is it? He's a she. She's a he, she.
It does sound vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it should. I did a really good. My inflection was perfect too.
I believe you.
I don't know. I think that they're not afraid to gender swap or anything like that.
He did it with Ray.
Yeah.
And it really worked out.
Yeah.
True.
Do you guys think that they did that for Rex? Or do you think that they did that to just add another female character because it was kind of one-sided in the comic for a little bit?
I would be curious to ask Kirkman if we get a chance to talk to him or ask just the team, even like Simon Rasioper, who was involved in that decision, because I feel like it could have been that they made the decision to just add a more variety of, fewer male characters and a few more female characters. And then maybe afterwards realize like, hey, there's kind of an opportunity to add to the Rex storyline and make it even more impactful. Or could have been the other way around. Could have been that they felt like they needed to add something to the Rex storyline and that was their sort of solution for it.
Chris Wise got it right. It was Mrs. Doubtfire. So good job, Chris.
Oh, nice.
That's
one of the best.
Good job, Chris.
Of all time.
Chris.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alex Ortega in the chat asked, "Where's Ryan?" He is at dinner. He's on his way. He did a hashtag soon. He's like the Sequids in the sewer right now. He's gonna be on.
I hope he has someplace nice and warm to go home to.
I don't think I know that one either.
That's also Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay. It's been like Doubtfire. At least a decade.
It's been too long. It's been a decade.
Yes.
It is.
I will put it on the list. I'm gonna watch it again.
Oh my god, unreal. So Carson Clay says, I think the season 4 title cards will have space backgrounds and the letters will look like different planet surfaces. That's cool. And that inspired me to have an idea. And I don't know if I want to save it or not. Or should I talk about it here? It's a hot take. I'm going to talk about it.
Do it.
How cool would it be? However wrong.
Rinsler lives. Thank you.
Can someone pay us money?
I honestly didn't think Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Conquest. I always pictured his voice having a lower octave and more gravelly. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on our episode breakdown. I think we all had that sort of concern when that was the rumor happening. We were all a little worried he might come off a little Negan-y. And I think there are line reads in the show that are different from what we were expecting, but I can't complain because even though it's different than what I was expecting, all of them work, especially on repeat viewings after you kind of just get used to that's what he sounds like. And the monologue, my favorite scene of it, the I'm so lonely bit, it's hard for me to imagine another actor doing that one just because it is so good and it's so well done that he's fantastic. I'm so happy that he has the role, and I'm very excited to see that this is not the end of him.
So my theory really quick, a lot of other cool comments in here, is that I think the title card is going to be the classic one or the blue and black, but it's going to start glowing, like maybe on the bottom of it or behind it, and the glowing is going to get brighter and brighter, and then eventually you're going to see blue spaghetti tendrils wrap around to the front, and it'll be the blue spaghetti monster from Reboot. Why did you not know where I was going with that? I don't know.
I was waiting for you to tell me on the idea.
I don't know. I honestly have no clue. And me and Nam talked about this on his TikTok live. I have no fucking idea what they're going to do for the season 4 title card.
I feel like space is the popular theory, right? Because we know we're going to be going to space. Like, keep it vague for non-spoiler people, because we'll get into a spoiler section probably later. But it feels like we're likely going to space, so I feel like it can be something like that. But they're always so kind of creative with the title card that I know it can't just be, oh, it's the Invincible letters floating in space. Like, I'm sure there has to be something to go along with it. I wonder if this is slight spoilers, not really slight spoilers. Yeah, I'll keep it vague enough. It's in space, right? Invincible logo. And you see that there's like a ring around it. But slowly we get closer and closer to it every episode. So that by the end, you see what's in the ring and like what makes up the ring.
That's cool. That's cool because it's not like something that's been done. Like the blood splatter was different. The cracking and crumbling was different. The phase shifting was different. So that would be different.
Yeah. Connor asks, do you think Cecil saving Conquest was bad writing? Some people thought it was. I like this question because it's been really fun to see TikToks of people that I saw back when episode 1, 2, and 3 be like, Cecil's the best character. He can do no wrong. Invincible's crazy. Invincible is just like such an idiot for overreacting. And now they see that scene and they're like, Cecil, why did you do this?
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't. It's not bad. It's go ahead. No, TJ, I'm sorry.
I wouldn't say that Cecil saved Conquest. I mean, he didn't kill Conquest, but he's got him, and it's for a purpose. It's not like, oh my god, like, he's helping him. He's not helping him. Cecil has a job to do. He has a job to keep Earth safe from all the threats that are out there. Mm-hmm. And there's so much out there that Cecil doesn't know. So he needs to get that information. So when he gains consciousness, he will tell us all about the Viltrum Empire.
I think I like Antonio brings up, it's a bad decision, not bad writing. And that's probably, that might be at the heart of the question originally anyways. But I do think that like, this is, at least for me, like leading up to all of these moments, you can tell me like, listen, if you're Cecil, what are you going to do? Like, this is the best decision to do this. You should clearly, put the thing in Mark's ear, and you should make the reanimate, and you should try to rehabilitate these criminals. The not letting Conquest die, we'll put it that way, or like not making sure he just dies after Mark tried to kill him, is the moment where I start to be like, I don't know if I'm with you, dog. I don't know. I don't know if this is the one that you should be gambling on. Like, I feel like if anything, Mark has just proven that like, hey, put your bets on Mark. Like Mark will,
well,
let's not necessarily that he's going to win every fight, but that like he took himself to the brink to try and stop Conquest. Yeah. And if anything, you should be doubling down on like training Mark. I think I think the risk outweighs the possible reward, because he also doesn't even know if he could convince Conquest to talk. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He could be one of those prisoners that's just like, no, I'm not going to tell you anything.
So what if, and I'm not going to say what happens, but a lot of people are inferring that this is going to go bad for Cecil. But what if it went well? And then Cecil all of a sudden is a hero and made a good decision. I think that I think that it's just shit happens, right? And you either have to stick to what you believe in, whether it's going to fuck you over or be the right decision, or you can try to, make everybody happy. And I think Mark was on one end of the spectrum and Cecil was on the other end. And Mark now seems more relatable because he's in the middle. Like, he's not so black and white anymore. He's more in that gray area. Cecil's still like, I'm Cecil. I know my decisions are hurt people. They're not popular. Like, I'm not a good guy. I'm doing what's right. And this is just the Cecil decision. So it goes in line with his character. And whether or not it goes bad, he will live with those decisions and he'll just move forward. Someone else said I don't know who said it, but someone was like, he should be putting up those sirens everywhere in like every city, like those disruptors. Why would they fucking do that? That's what I would do.
I'd have one of those installed, like Tony Stark's arc reactor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
like you need to keep that with you at all times.
It's like the Watchmen TV show where they had the bunkers for the safe rooms that you could get for the squid fall or whatever. Yeah.
I'm gonna. Oh no, wrong one.
Not the wrong one. Just
not the wrong one. The one I wasn't gonna click on. Maybe I'll click on that one next. What music stings do you guys think? Oh well, now I have to click on that one, TJ. We're gonna come back to this one too. What music stings do you hope the next season will bring? Since season 2 opened with Radiohead and season 3 closed out with 9 Inch Nails, I mean, I can't even ask for anything else because those are basically my 2 favorite bands. I got both of those. Any specifics that are on your guys' wish list?
I'm gonna take it because I feel like
we're gonna say the same thing.
We'll say the same thing.
Thrice
and I'll include you on this too, Wyatt, because I think that you also love this band. But me, Bill, and Ryan definitely, we all agree the Struts would work.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Is that what you weren't going to say that, Billy? Were you going to say Thrice?
So Thrice would be. I think Struts matches like an episode 1, like ba 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 ba. You know what I mean? Like Cage the Elephant kind of feel.
Yeah.
And I feel like
it's for the upbeat, happy times.
However,
you know what I mean?
like that fucking 9 Inch Nails track and Billie Eilish, like those moments are the ones. Owen just said, who are the Struts?
You stopped Bill in his tracks. He saw
what is the Struts?
And the live stream. Go listen to Struts. Listen, there's an album. It's their self-titled album from like 10 years ago. They're fucking awesome.
It's not their self-titled. But yeah, if you've ever heard the song "Could Have Been Me," it could have been me.
Yeah.
That song.
Murad says more holy fuck for the Flaxons. They're the ones that did the very popular song as Nolan is like destroying their planet in season 1. Would love if they had like a theme the same way the Maulers had Run the Jewels. Also, like, shout out to the fact that we're probably not going to get any more Run the Jewels for a while. I'm very sad about that.
So
if you're looking for the Struts, Everybody Wants is the name of the album.
Yeah,
all their
Everybody
songs,
Wants.
all their albums are great, but that album is perfect.
That's the one. Josh D said, "I'll do you one better. Why is the Struts?" And then Poke Pig said, "Bill,
how hard hitting questions.
How would you feel if the Struts play while Dinosaurus is on screen?" I would feel good depending on the tone. I think that they can go with like a campier, more fun, upbeat with their first interaction because it's kind of goofball-y. Like, he's a big dinosaur wearing a diaper. I did not like Dinosaurus as much as I do right now until he became the man that he became, the hero, the legend,
the dino.
Here's a question for you, Bill.
The Rex that he became.
The Maulers have their own theme group of Run the Jewels. If you had to allocate one to Dinosaurus, what song would it be? Or what band would it be? One of the two.
To Dinosaurus?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
The tone for you.
I don't know. I don't even think
like Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even think it would be a band. I think it would be like an orchestra or like something a little bit more like large, and I don't know. I don't see like a little synth pop or
Murad said, get some hearts in the chat for the music department. They consistently knock it out of the park and oftentimes feature artists that are relatively unknown. Yeah, that's the thing about like why I don't really have Rage Against the Machine for Dinosaurus. I would, again, love that.
Rage Against the Machine for
that's
Dinosaurus.
relevant too, actually.
Yeah, he kind of, Dinosaurus, he rages against those machines.
Yeah.
But yeah, the music department, like, there are so many songs on the playlist that they keep updating in Spotify that are from artists that I had never really heard about and that are now like in constant rotation on my Spotify. And then we get the awesome ones that are the Billie Eilish, the Radiohead, the everything else.
Yeah.
I'm going to read one of the emails because we just have a big old doc full of emails, guys. If you didn't know, we talk all the time about how we can't read all the emails on the breakdown. I'm sure, especially as we wind down on season 3, we'll get to more and more of them. But I've got one that starts, hello, gentlemen. First time writing in, so I have to say I started listening to your show as season 3 began approaching and have been tuning in religiously in these last few weeks. I've gotten to the point of going back through your older episodes as well. Appreciate all the great content. You guys have an entertaining dynamic, and it's been fun to realize you each share a lot of other similar interests of mine. Kind of Funny, Radiant Black, and Star Wars Explained, to name a few that you have mentioned on the show. In the spirit of your show, I had to submit a doodle, which is one of my favorite moments of the episode. I had admittedly been a bit disappointed by the tag in episode 6 because I wanted them to do something creative to adapt the famous Somewhere Else page, but they just had a few basic camera shots to reveal the multiversal marks. So he's talking about the like 16 panel page. So when day 3 started in episode 7, I realized how they were choosing to adapt the double page spread. I started pumping my fist in the air. Then it cut to this shot of Angstrom looking at his monitors, and it literally recreated the vertical panels of the comic, and I started clapping. And I think I have the image.
Are you gonna fuck it up? You did
right
it.
Here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is cool. And I never really thought about that, how that is recreating the panels. Like when I saw that shot, I didn't think about it because I always thought the cutting to the eyes and then cutting behind them was just their way of doing that for all of us watching. But then showing Angstrom basically looking at the panels is a cool way to show that.
Speaking of doodles, Owen Ortega, he started my commission today.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Alex Ortega.
Yeah.
You said Owen Ortega.
You said Owen. I said Owen. The chat's confusing me. It's Alex Ortega. I'm very sorry.
Anyway,
Owen's probably good at drawing too, but
I'm almost done with this email. He continues on, said, I think this is such an incredibly creative way to adapt a comic page. So as for a question, what are your favorite screen to page moments that you feel brought the art to life in a memorable way? Thanks for all the work you guys do to spread the love. Cheers, Alec Figueroa. So yeah, that's a good question about how like a lot of the big panels I feel like were adapted in very creative ways. It's hard not to just say almost any of the shots in 7 and 8 of this season. Like, the Conquest fight is so full of panels. The amount of time that I was doing the notes for my breakdown and was like, and then we get this panel from the comic, like whether it's just like Oliver flying through the sky. The first one that jumped out to me though is the season 2, the fight on Thraxa.
Yeah, that's the one I was gonna say.
The 2-page spread and all the ones in the background. They did that by doing the quick cuts. That was super, super creative. And I actually like that they didn't try to do that again for the headbutt one.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
The headbutt 2-page spread is a similar format of the like giant action in the front with the tons of panels in the back. And I like that the way the headbutts are done in the finale is just, it's brutal and uncomfortable. And that's how that 2-page spread makes me feel.
Plus that little, shtick they did in season 2 on Thraxa, that's like, it's a very gimmicky thing to do. And I feel like if they did it more than just one time, it would be a thing. And I don't really like that thing. I think, honestly, anything, they did such a phenomenal job of like every part in the comic that is like a holy shit, like this is the best page. They did it in the show too. They did either slow-mo or they did the shot. You know what I mean? Like Alan floating with his eye, like, you know what I mean? Like that's a page.
Yeah.
So I think they just did a great job of like really slowing down on the moments that we like to kind of dissect in the comic book. And they did it from season 1 all the way through season 3. And especially, thank God, with Conquest too.
I think too, like you mentioned 7 and 8. I feel like this season was like that throughout the entire season, even more so than season 1 and 2. Episode 2, I would call that out as a whole. There were a lot of like just straight from the comic type stuff. That whole episode from beginning to end, the whole fight between him and Cecil. That sticks out in my mind for sure.
Can I just bring up this one commenter, Bill Wyatt, who I believe either sent us an email one time or commented before. So
have we merged?
It's
Dinosaurus.
It's Dinosaurus. Like what?
Okay, Bill, we found your alt account. We get it.
It's
just
not me. I'm not. Look, my hand. Watch this. Bill Wyatt's going to say something in the chat, and my hands are right here. So, I would like to know more about this Bill Wyatt and who it is.
I have to agree
There you go.
with this comment here. I think Conquest just needed a hug, honestly. You know, maybe that's the moral of Invincible. That
No.
we should just stop trying to be the toughest and the strongest, and maybe just give people a hug every now and then.
No, he's like Lenny liked to give hugs. He would pet little rabbits and squeeze them and love them and then snap their necks. And then what happened to Lenny? Wyatt, you teach in school. You read of Mice and Men.
Bill Wyatt says, I'm lying. I'm Bill from the podcast. Well, there you go. Proof, Bill. We figured it out.
There's a mystery here to be solved, and I'm a little nervous. I don't know if my front door
we
is
need
locked.
Damien
Chris
Darkblood
Wise?
on the case. No, Chris Wise is in here. It may just be somebody named Bill Wyatt. TJ and or Bill, do either of you want to read one of the emails that we have while
I'll
I
take
look
one.
through the chat as well to star some comments to look back to?
This one is from Carter. Is Carter here? Is Carter in the chat? Where you at, Carter? He says, "Hey guys, I just started listening to your podcast at episode 150, but I loved your conversation so much I decided to go all the way back to the beginning." Oof. I read the comics after finishing season 2, so it was really fun for me to go back and listen to all your reactions to each issue releasing. The end of the comic getting announced, and eventually the animated show news. I haven't fully caught up with all of your episodes yet, but I have to say, you should totally start another new readers series.
God damn it.
I know you brought it up in the live show this week, and I think it'd be awesome. It might also open the door for more show-only viewers to read the comic alongside each of your new episodes. Totally unrelated, but my question for you is, what title card of the series is your favorite so far? Personally, mine is probably either the Powerplex one we just got or Angstrom at the end of season 2, episode 1.
Mm-hmm. I have my favorite. Why? And you guys know what it is. Do you know what it is? Is that fucking Ryan?
I'm sorry, did somebody say something about starting another new reader? I have been summoned.
Well, guys, that's our show. Thank you for tuning in.
That's actually Ryan TJ. We've got Bill Wyatt in the chat, and now we've got Ryan TJ.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Like and subscribe.
Dad's home, guys. It's okay. Dad's home now.
Did you do the chores, Wyatt? Did you fucking fluff the pillows on the couch?
I don't know.
What has happened to this setup? Oh my god. No.
So my favorite Invincible title card moment is in episode 3. And it was because it's a quick thing that you can miss when I think it's Magmaniac says it's invincible, but there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like him going, and then
really
it's
good.
invincible. And I thought that was a real fun way to do it during like a very somber intro. That's mine.
The first one that came to mind was Mark seeing baby Oliver for the first time, because it's what the and then it cuts to it.
Yeah.
I feel like it was the first time maybe that it was one that wasn't the word invincible.
I think the only time.
What's that?
I think maybe even the
Is
only
it still
time.
the only time? Well,
Yeah.
except for the finale this
Other
season
than
too.
the finale this season, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first one that came to mind is just one that I know I probably laughed even harder at the Powerplex one, but one of the funniest ones to me is Rex after the lizard
It
leaf
is.
fight, and
That
it's
is the
him
one.
looking back, and it's so long of him being like, "Why would you say that? I'm fine. I'm practically." And then they
Yeah,
kept,
yeah.
like, you
That
kept
is the
waiting for him
answer.
to do the line, but he talked so long before that it's so funny.
That
It's
was
one of
good.
Rex's best moments, I think.
TJ, what's yours?
That was it. That was it.
Oh,
No,
okay,
he took it.
Yeah,
I mean, it was. I
stole
mean,
it.
even Josh D said it in the chat too. I mean, that is
All right.
definitively. Honestly, I probably would put that above Powerplex.
Very
That's
cool.
my number one.
Yeah, Powerplex is a good one too.
Ryan Otley is Bill Wyatt.
Bill Wyatt. You know,
if that's
who knows?
It's, oh, hey guys. So really quick, it looks like we are up to 90 live watchers right now. So if you can get your friends, if we can get to 500, I wasn't lying. TJ's got a Rexplode interpretive dance to do. I'll read it. This.
What have you guys done?
I'll read a quick email. Don't worry about it, Ryan. It's all good. Subject. This is for you, Bill. Hey guys, it's finally here, the finale. One thing I want to say is Rex's speech about being Rexplode, being who he is. I instantly knew he was cooked in the Invincible War. Sorry, TJ. As for you, Bill, I recently just purchased issues 79 through 84 via Kindle Comixology because I wanted to revisit that period of Invincible post the Viltrumite War. I have a newfound appreciation for Dinosaurus. Never thought about it in the past, but Dinosaurus is pretty much the tip of the scale that changes Mark's way of thinking, how he handles his superheroing going forward for the rest of the book, i.e. Vegas and everything that happens after. Didn't want to dive too much into it, but wanted to be in Bill's corner since everyone fries the guy for liking Dinosaurus. LMAO. Love, Jordan. I think that like all of the whether or not they're just fucking spamming me or whatever the case is, there's a lot of love for Dinosaurus out there. Yeah. And I think it's going to hit. I think it's going to hit maybe not like this soon, but later on as much people like Rexplode. I think it's going to be the same kind of fandom.
I think it'll be equal to Angstrom. As far as
how dare you? You know, I don't know. I don't
think you don't want Dinosaurus to be.
You fucking come in here,
immediately fighting.
You come in here and just bulldoze everything.
Those are very different characters.
Suck the fun out of the air. No way.
Yeah, I think especially with this being Robert Kirkman's like second draft and everything. And part of the reason I highlighted that one, I want to point out, is because I don't think anybody's roasting Bill for liking Dinosaurus. At least I don't think I ever have. I know awesome. TJ does. I think jokingly. He's not going to admit right now that it's jokingly because Bill's in the room. But
it's not good.
But Dinosaurus is awesome. Like the idea that we could get a season where he is kind of sold as the big threat and the big like antagonist that Mark is facing off against, and then I won't go too much into spoilers, obviously, but yeah, I am really excited to see how they tackle that because it is such a good blend of the like very serious things that Dinosaurus gets into, but also the fact that he's a wacky dinosaur with a metal diaper.
And everyone in the chat is also saying that Angstrom is, Dinosaurus is much better than Angstrom.
I'm not saying. All I was saying.
I get it, Ryan.
Those are very different characters. He's not going to be the new Rexplode.
No.
Comedic relief.
He's going to be like Battle Beast, like the way that people like Battle Beast. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
One thing I'll say, I see you have a comment highlighted. Let me just say this. Josh D even said it in the chat. He said that the conversation behind Dinosaurus's motivations will be interesting, like seeing them online, and that makes me think that it's going to be Dinosaurus is going to be taken like Cecil is. There's a lot of people that love Cecil,
but
I hope they play with that.
Not like Rexplode. I mean, come on.
Come on. I mean, Rexplode is a fan favorite that no one's debating on. I think that they're right on that. Like people will be debating about Dinosaurus. There will be people who are like hashtag Dinosaurus is right type.
It's going to be episode 2 of season 3, but for like a season. Like that is the theme of it. Is the right and wrong and what it takes and doing. Yeah, can't wait. That's going to be great.
Omnimark brought up the potential of Invincible versus Hell is crazy. Would this be a season finale thing or something throughout the whole season, or just be a singular episode? I would guess a singular episode.
Yeah,
I would think if anything else, maybe it's like 2 kind of like the Doc Seismic thing, where it kind of bled over into the second episode.
If I may, while we're on the Hell thing, so Riker has never read the comic. obviously, and he was the one who was like, I think that Damien Darkblood was talking about Conquest, and I was like, that's crazy, dude, whatever. But then I started thinking about it, and like, it's not this episode, this storyline never happened in the comics, so we're open to speculate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything, nothing's wrong. And I think it would be interesting if and when Conquest breaks out, like he first goes to hell, and that's a fun little way to get Jeffrey Dean Morgan and like Conquest in more of the story, and then like skedaddles out of there. I don't know. I think it could be like they could do it. They could swing it to be Conquest, but that's kind of the headcanon behind that.
Yeah.
I like your other thought too, that it could be Cecil.
Yeah.
Yes.
A friend of ours, I'll bring this up here because I thought it was a very good take. A good friend of ours who we were talking to today watched the finale, and he had the idea that Damien is talking about Cahor, another character who is not in the comic. So just encompassing all of these things that are not in the comic that none of us know anything about. Plus, I feel like I don't know. It could make sense. Make sense.
What if it's a team up between the devil or whatever that little baby demon was and Cahor? Like they get together, and then they're like, it's like their little stupid like bit throughout the rest of the.
I want Cahor to be like this final season.
Yeah.
Like
I'm going to bring up Mara's comment because I was thinking about this too, because some people have said maybe he's talking about Nolan, because when Damien Darkblood was banished, Nolan was still like, he was trying to stop Nolan, and he thought that he was the one investigating Nolan. And I know in the comics, right, one of the few times we see Damien Darkblood is him finally coming back and being like, I figured out who killed the Guardians. And they're like, yeah, we've known that for years. And so this could be
the woman at the desk is laughing.
Oh,
yeah. And he like does the Herm and walks away all grumbly. So I could see something like this happen. Mara says he's going to try and summon Nolan, but his heart isn't darkened anymore. It won't work.
So does that mean he accidentally summons his son instead? Because this has to result in Invincible going to hell.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe he tries and it doesn't work, and then the Bruce Campbell demon is like, "Hey, you promised me somebody with a blackened heart," and then he manages to somehow get invincible because of what he's going through. Would be cool. Would be cool. So exciting to not know anything about it too. You know, like that's going to be such an exciting episode or a couple of episodes or however it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Want me to take an email? What's the plan?
Yeah, go ahead.
I had originally highlighted some for Bill and TJ, so any of the ones that are colored were highlighted for them. But I think we've only read like one of them each.
I do have we won't do it now. We'll do a little bit later. But we've talked about giveaways, and I have two things I could give away, and I thought of some trivia questions. So maybe we'll do that a little later. So make sure that you're fully caught up.
How's it going to work? Are we going to do
comics front to back right now?
I figured we would just do. So I'll say this: like if we'll do it a little bit later, but make sure that you're fully caught up on the live and you're not behind, so that you can. And then we'll just do first comment to get it right.
Oh my
He's gonna
God.
summon Eve's dad, and they need to rescue him. Only if Bill's allowed in the writers' room. It's what I'll say. Keep Bill out of the writers' room to keep that from happening.
Do we have? Did you already read the email that involved the image?
The only image that
you've only shown the Angstrom one, right?
Is the Angstrom one so far.
Okay,
because
cool.
I wasn't 100% sure on some of the descriptions for other ones, so I didn't want to give people the wrong credit.
It's all good. I'm gonna read this one. Hey, Invincible Podcast. I've been loving all of your season 3 coverage these past few weeks. Wild to think that we finally made it to this point. I think the last time I emailed you guys was back in 2021, and I wanted to get your thoughts on a Jeffrey Dean Morgan fan cast for Conquest I'd heard about. How crazy is that? In 2021, they emailed about that. I've absolutely loved this season. I'm so glad that it really feels like a second pass on the comic. They've taken the already excellent source material and fleshed out the characters and story beats, giving us all so much more to chew on while still honoring what came before. I feel like you couldn't ask for much more than that when adapting something. I'm sad that the season's almost over, but the Battle Beast comic will be here before we know it. It's never been a better time to be an Invincible fan.
It's true.
And with the season wrapping up and a new comic on the horizon, any chance we might see some more Invincible trivia in the future? Your game night videos are some of my favorite things you guys have ever done. Thank you for the fun times and looking forward to your future coverage. Harrison. P.S. With Conquest officially on the scene, I remembered this old fan art I did based on Ryan Otley's artwork. Thought maybe it was about time to dust it off and share it with some folks who might appreciate it.
This is headbutt image, right?
Yep.
There you go.
Oh, cool. Wow,
Very
good job.
cool. Well done.
Awesome.
I love that.
That is very
Pretty
cool. Alex said, Bill, I was hoping you asked for a Dinosaurus commission. LOL. Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Thought you were going to. Did you do Tech Jacket?
No, I'm trying to keep it with the theme that I started. So, Ryan, I think you said it. I don't know if you could.
I know, yeah.
So not Invincible related.
It is still. So I guess we'll keep that a secret, right, Alex? Until
okay. No, I do know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who wants us to do more Invincible trivia? Because
yeah, man, dude, if nobody watched those videos, I would want to still make them.
Oh yeah,
they're the most fun. Like we all love doing that. Invincible trivia.
So what's stopping us? Let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow. Like, what are you guys doing?
Bill's like, why haven't you all written the questions, set up cameras, figured out how to record
why haven't you bought a ticket? Why are we not
Wyatt, why are you still in California, not in Buffalo? Why isn't everybody just doing these things?
You asked all the right questions. I mean, if we could get to the bottom of them, we would have Invincible trivia right here.
We've talked about it. We've thrown ideas out there. Like we've said, I think it was last live stream. We want to do a 2v2 with and maybe shake it up a little bit and have somebody else host it, and that would require that person making the questions or going out to the community to get the questions. We have some things in the works, but we definitely want to do more.
Yeah,
I think the next time Wyatt is in town, it will have to happen. So
yeah,
for sure.
And I 100% am going to do a reread because I'm not going to be.
Oh my god, you know
it's been too long since we've like.
Wouldn't it be fun to do a reread with people who have never read the comic before?
I think it's been long enough to where I could be on the new reader. I could be on the new reader.
I will say, because the new reader conversation has come up a few times, Nicole has told me that she is willing to be a part of a new reader. And granted, that we'd have to call that new reader plus or something.
I've thought about that
because I've told her way too much of the plot that she does remember, but still she knew some things were going to be happening to Rex. She didn't know when it was going to happen. Yeah. She was worried it was going to happen. But I feel like so was everybody who was just a show watcher too, So yeah, she is game if that ever is in the plans.
Put up a chat in the poll in the chat. Can we do that? I don't know if we could do that on.
Yeah, I definitely don't know how to do that, Rinsler. To put
not
up
in this.
We believe that you guys want.
Someone said we should. Patrick James said we should get Robert Kirkman to host Invincible Trivia.
Oh man,
I think it would be fun to have them video record like they do with Jeopardy sometimes.
Yeah, that would be great. New reader reboot. Yeah, that's good.
Damn,
that's good. There you go, Bill. A new reader you can get behind. A new reader.
Last time
we've done it. We've done it.
I think that one should definitely happen.
Yeah,
I think
agree. I would do for sure.
Listen, guys, when we were doing all those old, Bill Wyatt just said, I can ask Robert. Who is this person?
It really is Ryan Otley.
Who is this person? So I don't know what the fuck I was even talking about. What was I saying?
Bill Wyatt has infected Bill's brain.
I don't know what I was saying.
We were talking about trivia.
It's gone. Now all I can think about is that actually is Ryan Otley. So I don't know.
All right.
I have seen a couple of times in the chat a few people asking if we are having the Mr. Kirkman back on the show anytime soon. And all that I think we can say right now is that we don't have anything to announce yet currently. But if you follow us and subscribe and keep up with us, we may have some things to talk about in the future. Who knows?
I know what I was going to say. I was going to say that it's been so long since we've done all those new reader, all the old stuff that was just audio. that I think it would be okay to revisit it on our new video platform.
And you
It
know
would
what?
be
That's a
like
good point. We could bring images up every now and then.
yeah.
Ryan's like, you know what? You're making
know,
a lot
Bill,
of
you're
good
onto
points.
something.
It's like I haven't
You've
thought of that
incepted
yet.
me.
but-
Is this what Inception feels like? This is what Inception feels like.
Ryan 100% like whispered that in your ear when you were sleeping.
Now I
once,
need to
and now you're
start
saying it.
like, nah, maybe we don't need to do one. And then
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that like if we do if Wyatt gets behind all the technical stuff, we should do it. Bill Wyatt is the spaghetti monster. Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible.
All right, you want to do a trivia question? Want to do a giveaway?
Yeah, do
Go
we give
for
it
it.
would. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So
This-
how's it working, TJ? How are we doing? It's the first person we see answer it in the chat.
Yeah, and it's a tougher question, so I imagine
Okay.
there's going to be it's not going to be someone to answer immediately. If someone
Okay.
answers immediately,
you
I will be very impressed.
should clarify this should be US only, unless TJ you want to send
True.
international.
Yeah, we'll do US only.
Okay,
Sorry.
sorry. And after somebody gets it, they have to email
Yeah.
theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com so we can get information and everything.
So
Yep.
do we it's the first in the chat what we see?
The first,
Or
the
how-
first,
yeah.
the first right answer that is in the chat will win it.
Well, just because I know that some chats aren't like, you might is it like that where like you see your
I think we're seeing
message
the chat
beforehand?
as it comes in. We should be.
Okay.
We should be.
Well,
good with
I'll just say who we see. And
Yeah.
then it'll
Yeah.
Oh, and we're doing trivia.
TJ is just-
TJ's
TJ's
doing
gonna give
trivia
a
and doing a
question.
giveaway.
that. Yep.
All right, so make sure you are updated. You're all the way forward. You're completely live here. All right, ready? I'm curious if any of you guys know this.
I was gonna say
We'll put it. We'll put it in the
No
private.
way.
We'll put our
Yeah.
guests in the
Yeah.
private chat.
There we go.
Okay, you're not going to know.
along
Though.
too.
I think this is going to take people a while to get it. So,
What does this mean?
And TJ,
Yeah.
what is this? What is the prize for this one?
oh yeah, it is a Escape from Mars board game. Invincible.
Hey,
Escape from
that's
Mars.
awesome.
Yeah, one of those. Both of the
Fun game.
giveaways today
Fun
will
game.
be that.
We have a great video of us playing it on
Yeah.
YouTube.
It's online. Okay. All right, here we go. What year was the wine that Rex got for Ray and Rex's
Oh,
date?
I don't want to say
Put it in the chat.
No,
I don't wanna
put
say
it in the chat.
There you go.
Am I
there
right,
you go.
TJ?
Almost
Am
said
I
it.
right? Hands up. Check the private chat.
Incorrect.
Oh,
Incorrect. Incorrect. All three of you.
oh
were
wait.
wrong.
Why'd I say that? I definitely got the wrong year.
I was gonna say that's
All
pretty
right,
late, Ryan.
TJ,
No,
none of us fucking know it. Are you looking in the chat, TJ?
I put a digit in the wrong spot. I have to
Holy crap!
Start at the top. So
Wow.
Morrow was the
Smashing
first.
success. Smashing success. Got it.
Wow. Where is it?
1762.
1762 is the correct.
Nice.
Wow, that was quick.
Wow.
Very impressive.
Nice.
Ooh, and has a Red Hood little picture there.
Oh,
A
Delete
lot of people got it right
Lando
though.
got it
Yeah,
right.
we got a lot. We
That's
got
a
a
good
lot
one.
of right answers
Oh,
right
nice.
after. That is a good trivia
Uh,
question.
Smashing success.
I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to be from the show. I thought it was going to be like a comic one.
Yeah. Oh, it has to
That's
be
a
from
good
the
one.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
Send an email over to theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com and we'll get your shipping information and everything.
And like and subscribe and leave us a
And
review
like and
on
subscribe
iTunes.
for sure. You have to. You
Yeah.
have to do all those things.
that was a good one. That was a
Also,
good one.
we'll do one more, but we'll do that. We'll do the second one in a bit. So someone have another email?
Fun.
Yeah. Let's grab.
I have one.
Go ahead, do
Sure.
it.
I got.
Go.
Go ahead.
This one is from Kevin Deneen. He says, "What the hell is happening? Great episode, and I was ready to see Nolan and Alan post credit, and we got Dark Blood. Crazy. 10 out of 10 season. See you, boys." Kevin Deneen.
Yeah.
It
You
wasn't
guys were
10 out of
talking a
10.
bit about the fact that we didn't see the Nolan and Allen thing. Like, we thought that maybe they'd touch on them, maybe a post-credit type thing. I think it worked, though. I kind of like how, sparingly they're using them. We'll get to see a little bit more of them next season.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more than we've been getting, but
Mhm.
very cool.
J.H. Stern said, "Do you think the war will be for most of season 4, or do you think it will only last a few episodes?"
I
do you guys
think half is the
That's a-
most that we'll get.
That is
I
a
think
good.
it could be like I feel like 3 episodes feels about right, but I don't know actually.
think
It's been a while since I've read it. I kind of want to go back and reread that part of the comic to see.
This is just off the cuff. I feel like we're going to have stronger predictions in an upcoming episode, like our season 4, what's going to be in it type episode. Off the top of my head, I think leave at the end of one episode, be in space for I think it's going to be like 3 episodes. I'm trying to also avoid spoilers because we're not in spoiler talk section here.
But I mean,
but I'm thinking roughly 3 episodes.
Do those 3 episodes include like the recruitment, like all of like that stuff?
No. I'm thinking just the main character. Yeah, we're dancing on spoilers. I'd rather stay out of it, unless we want to go into spoiler talk.
I mean, the headline of this was spoiler talk, but we don't have to.
Well, for season 3, right?
Yeah, for the season. Chat, how we feel? Does anybody not want us to go into spoiler talk yet? Do people want us to stay spoiler free?
We're at an hour in.
Yeah, we've been chatting for a while, keeping it fairly spoiler free. Tommy says spoiler talk. Rinsler, spoil it.
I think that it could be the whole season if they pace it right. I really do. I think because there's a lot going on in a lot of different places that they can expound upon, a lot of relationships and stuff like that. So I think that it could be. They have to introduce a lot of new characters. They have to. Yeah, there's no way they can do 3 episodes.
Yeah. I think. I mean, if you think about how much was packed into just 7 and 8 of this season of Invincible War and Conquest, I could see it. I would prefer, I think, if it were like a 4 episode, a half of the season, that like by episode end of episode 4, start of episode 5, we have done some recruiting and we're going into space to get into it. That way it feels different even from the Invincible War and Conquest being this like 2 episode back to back. The idea of like 4 episodes, a half of a season feeling like this big event could be cool.
Yeah. It would almost feel like a fucking movie, like a franchise. You know what I mean? Like,
Sam, this is kind of what I'm thinking, but I actually think back early 8. I think it's all said and done, and we're on Earth for most of 8.
I have a question about that too, Ryan. Now that we're in spoiler talk,
are we doing that? So are we doing that?
I think we're in spoiler talk.
No, I wasn't sure. Jose, have you not read the books? Because you said wait. I don't know.
Let me see.
Bill Wyatt's trolling again. All I'll say is season 4 will move places. Trolling. Nope, not falling for it.
This also, yeah, this is another thing. There's also a months long time jump in space. Are you considering that for episode count? That's another thing where like they could do and sorry if that's spoilerish. I thought that was I didn't think that's too spoilery, but I feel like that could be done in the middle of an episode, and that would be kind of crazy to do like a big time jump. Or it could be a thing that causes them to kind of slow down a little bit too and make it more drawn out than just. And then maybe during that, there's an episode where it's all on Earth and we pull away from the Viltrumite War. You know what I mean? Where like maybe the Viltrumite War does start in like episode 4, episode 3, but then episode 6 is we're back on Earth and we're doing guarding the globe type of stuff, you know?
Yeah. Okay, how about that? We're not going crazy. We're not talking about details. We're not talking about any deaths or anything like that.
We're
gonna generalize a little bit.
Yeah. My question that I wanted to go into spoilers about is because Ryan, you're thinking early episode 8, we're already back on Earth.
I think so.
What's the fight in episode 8 then? Because I feel like you got to have a fight in a finale, right? Like I feel like Invincible has kind of established that in the finale you kind of have to have a big showdown.
I mean, it's a superhero
and that doesn't necessarily
thing.
mean they have to, but who's
well, then maybe it's the Conquest thing and we just get back to Earth quicker. You know what I mean? Like, and there is a passage of time and then we're back.
time is relative.
No, because
to
I don't
light.
know.
So you could have a long passage of time pass by, and then because of the
maybe
light
it's gonna
speed,
happen more in the middle. Because I think the reaction and everything that happens with Eve when Mark gets back, I think would happen this season in season 4, which
Could be.
that can't be shoehorned in the end. Oh, could it be at the end of the episode? Oh God, can you imagine the season ending like that?
Yeah, that'd be
are we
I
do?
think
We're
that could
it's like
happen.
we're doing this
I think that's a
episode live
possibility.
right now.
Yeah, we're doing this. We're figuring this out
Yeah.
live. These
Yeah.
are not concrete.
These are going to be the next 8 months.
Oh, yeah.
10
This
months
is
of our
our
lives.
This is
early-
us doing a rough draft. We're at the whiteboard. We're
Yeah, we're
Charlie
totally-
from
we
yeah.
can't
We're
do
just
that.
doing that stuff, and then one day we're gonna come in all buttoned up and be like, "Here are my predictions for these episodes." Right now, we're just spitballing. That's
Yeah,
the fun
yeah.
of the live stream. You get to see us working it out.
Huh.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that has to be the big thing of the season, though, right? Like, so I don't know if they would wait.
Of Mark getting back and him and Eve having that moment.
No, I'm saying the war.
Oh
Ultimate
yeah,
War
I feel like
is-
the war is what will be kind of even in the the marketing of the
Yeah,
season.
maybe.
I would
We're
assume
probably-
that you want to. I feel like
You know what?
a year from now when you're ramping up, or 10 months from now when you're ramping up marketing, I think everyone is still going to be remembering the Invincible War, and they're going to be remembering Conquest. And I think you want to sell those people and say you haven't seen anything yet. Like, we are going to top that and go even crazier and even bigger. And I think selling that you got excited for the Invincible War, we are about to do a thing called the Viltrumite War, and like that is something you put on a poster and you get people hyped up. Like, I feel like that's got to be sort of how season 4 is approached.
How about this?
Who knows?
Episode 1 starts with Dinosaurus, like within 5 minutes. You've said that before, Bill.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's also hell. Episode 2, as if things couldn't get any worse, you've got the Sequids and Universa show up at the same time, just like they do in the comics. That's
Okay.
episode 2.
This is a pretty good season so far.
That episode
Lots happening.
ends like, back at the house, calming down. No, episode 3 is the Alan and Nolan episode, and it ends with them arriving, recruiting. 4, 5, 6.
War.
Yes. 7, 8. Back home.
I'm
And
gonna
I
say
don't-
4,
but I don't
5.
know where it ends.
I
4,
don't
5
know.
War, 6 back on Earth guarding the globe, 7
Oh,
finishing
that'd be
up the
cool.
war, 8
Yeah.
back on Earth.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't they finish the war in 8 though? Like, you don't think
Yeah,
that
maybe they do. Man, maybe they do.
Like, I don't know. A lot of people are hoping for Thick Eve in season
Any
4.
chance?
My wife being one of them. I'm
Any
also
chance-
praying for Thick Eve, and then Connor, Nicole popping up just to say that.
It's the one thing she bounced.
We're Thick Eve fans in this household. Okay, that's all I'll say.
See, Antonio, I like what the comic does with the Sequids and Universa. I want to pair those two. Because aren't those the two at the same exact time? But Universa, Alan, and Nolan would be kind of fun too, because it's both space things. 3 is
Yeah.
hell.
I could see it. Man, there's so much. There's so much to cover that, like, and it's crazy thinking about that. Like, the Conquest stuff is what, from 61 to like 64, 65 is when the Rex funeral stuff is, right?
Yep.
And the fact that like issue 75 is like one of the
Or
big
60.
events in the war, the fact that it's only 10 issues, and like I could see that being the end of season 4. Maybe we go even further past that, but it also feels like there's still so much to get through to even get there that I'm very curious to see how they
Can you pull up Running on Empty's comment really quick? Do you see that?
Star it.
Just pull it up.
I can't find it.
You can't find it? My personal
Got it.
casting for Dinosaurus is Matthew Lillard. I always read his human form as sounding kind of Shaggy-ish, and he can also do evilly voices like his Friday Night at Freddy's role. That's not a crazy.
That's not bad.
That's
Yeah.
not bad at all.
I like it.
And like
Five
that's
Nights
what
at Freddy's, not Friday Night at Freddy's.
Friday night at Freddy's.
First,
Five
What?
Nights.
Right?
What are you talking
Five
about?
Friday nights at Freddy's
first,
house.
first
Yeah.
night.
So that's what I was talking about. Where like they could like modulate his voice even to add a little bit of growl or something different.
You know what?
And it could be one person.
Yeah. I know where it ends. Obviously, we got the Eve storyline when they get back, which is rough, but I think it ends with okay, again, getting a little bit more into moderate
medium spoilers.
Moderate comic spoilers.
Moderate. Hold on. I mean,
Medium spoilers.
I'm wondering if you were going to say.
I think we're probably going to say the
I
same
was about
thing.
to say, and Bill interrupted me.
I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Okay.
Go ahead,
okay.
Ryan.
Okay. It ends with Mark teaming up with Dinosaurus. Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! If it starts,
it's gonna bookend just the things from
it always
season
bookends.
2.
Beginning
And
of
then
the
season-
last
And
episode.
season 5 is the Dinosaurus season
it's so good. Let's go.
because it's gonna end.
Season 5, they can't put all the dinosaurs into
No,
one.
it's just
season.
Dinosaurus is gonna be the beginning and the end.
Because when Dinosaurus comes in, he's kind of like not like a moot point, but a lesser storyline until he's a fucking storyline. They're not going to put all of that in
That's
one
what
season.
it's gonna be because it's gonna be Mark saying, you know what, let's save the world, and that's how they end it.
Yeah.
Let's go save
you
the
think
world.
Vegas?
Vegas. Oh my god!
Vegas in the finale,
I gotta
maybe.
change my underwear after that one, Ryan. That is
The
good.
finale of 4, Wyatt?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Right? Isn't
Vegas
that what you're saying,
the finale? No, he's saying that Vegas would be season 5.
Oh, okay.
And I
Vegas
agree.
would be 5.
I got you.
Oh wait,
I got you.
doesn't he team up with?
I thought you meant like
they.
they established Dinosaurus at the beginning of 4, and then they do all the Viltrumite War stuff, and then he's back seeing the good stuff that Dinosaurus is doing and teams up with him by the end of 4.
Yes.
Wait, doesn't Dinosaurus
what I thought you were
fly
saying.
LA or Las
No, I
Vegas?
agree with.
Doesn't he do
What?
that before?
He does do that before, so we might touch in with Dinosaurus during the season. Maybe while Mark's away.
I know this is off topic, but I had to pull this one up because somebody said my casting for Thrag would be Chris Evans. I read him. I think I read him as sounding kind of pompous, like his role in Scott Pilgrim.
That's actually hilarious. How about and Salerno doing Andrew Lincoln, so he can either do the Southern or the British thing?
Oh god, what I would fucking throw up.
No,
Throw up. If Andrew
You
Lincoln
throw
got cast
up?
as Dinosaurus, I would throw up.
Oh my gosh. I think
No,
I think it's an absolute possibility, and I'm clipping this for if it happens. I'm clipping it.
It's gonna be like him saying coral, but he's gonna be roaring like a dinosaur, like
Dinosaurus.
I'm a
Dinosaurus.
It's absolutely will not. It will not be.
Oh man.
No, it won't be. It won't be Andrew Lincoln. John
Bernthal.
Bernthal.
Mm.
That's Punisher guy, right?
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Invincible. Let me tell you something.
Oh, stop.
He's a
Idris Elba. That would be cool.
Norman
Ooh,
Reedus.
this is fun. How they read it.
Idris Elba.
That's actually
Hell yeah.
really fucking good.
Hell yeah.
Actually pretty
Not-
good.
I don't, but not a
But
British.
not
accent.
Knuckles, but not the Knuckles version, because he's kind of British in that, right?
No, he's not. He's not British in Knuckles, but he's a little bit too like.
Yeah.
He is
Ubery,
much
you know
stronger
what I
than
mean?
the hedgehog I fought previously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would be more elegant with his speech, but just not in a British accent.
Yeah, I can see it. While we've already admitted that this is just us spitballing stuff and it's not official. I had an idea earlier because we were talking about Kirkman mentioning the whole like Damien Darkblood story, it being brand new, right? Him getting to do a story that he always wanted to do in the comics, but never really got around to. And we've recently gone back and heard when Kirkman said that on the podcast and everything. And I loved too that he was talking about how you know when you guys were talking to him about that Invincible always the comic, plays off of comic book tropes, whether it's the Invincible War doing the big event, but now all in one issue, or, it's always playing off of the different things. And he brings up that like lots of DC and Marvel comics do hell storylines, whether it's like Mephisto or DC storylines where they go to hell. I feel like we should do, if we're ever in a lull where we don't have lots of episodes, because it feels like we're going to have episodes forever. But if we're ever in a lull before season 4, we should do the Invincible podcast goes to hell, and we each go read a different hell themed comic book that maybe they might be referencing things to in that episode as they write it. We each pick a different like Marvel, DC, any kind of popular comic
the
going to
trope
hell storyline and see
Yeah.
just like, hey, what do we think of this one? Was it fun? Are there any tropes we think they might pull out? It would just be fun because I don't think I've ever read any of those comics where those heroes go. So it would be fun.
That would be cool. I do like that idea a lot.
Chris Wise said he's paying more attention to Bill Wyatt's comments than the fucking episode at this point.
Oh
man.
All right. Can I do an email?
TJ, what are your thoughts on young Rex in the season 3 teaser not being followed up on? Rex special confirmed? Question mark.
I mean, he was there for a reason. So, I mean, we have to get the Rexplode special.
That
I would have expected
next.
I would have expected them to announce that. Like, I would have guessed that they would have announced that at the by now. Like, the season finale is out. Like, when is the Rexplode special coming?
Yeah.
I know a lot of.
I mean, it's definitely happening. It has to be.
I know a lot of the reason for the shadow drop of the Eve one was because of the long wait. Do you think they'll shadow drop the Rex special like they did with Eve?
Yeah, it's very possible.
I don't know how they're thinking they can do less than a year turnaround, or basically a year turnaround, and do an additional episode on top of that, unless they get another studio.
Yeah, it does feel like they would probably have to get a bump in the budget where they're like, look, we just got enough to hire this one studio to be like, you're going to be working on this while we're working on the next season.
Would you guys take a Rex special in the fall if it meant an additional 6 months added on to the wait for the next season?
No, fuck Rex. We're done with him. He had his time. If it means waiting that long, absolutely.
TJ, do you want me to mute him?
Yes, please. That'd be so great. Thank you. And I mean, we should just make this a common thing. But I will take a Rexplode special whenever. I'll take it on I'll take it on a fucking. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'll take it. Just make it happen. If they're not working on it, start working on it. Do it now.
Samsy brings up a good point, and this is something I wanted to ask you guys. So a Rex special after his death feels weird to me. If they were going to do it, it should have been before it. How about this? Because we actually got so many hints towards his life and everything like that, maybe what if it's not a whole episode? And what if we got the Secret Origin as a special episode where we see 15 minutes of Monster Girl's origin, 15 minutes of Rexplode origin, 15 minutes of...
That's fine.
I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'd be down. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I've got an email.
Email.
This is from Drew.
Did you say meow?
You're not allowed to mock yourself after you fuck up, Ryan.
I because then you mad that you
I was choking on my chicken nugget meow. What?
Bill,
I knew you were
able to mock you. He's so mad that you took
see
that
my
away
eyes
from him.
my eyes widened and I got.
How did Bill die? Well, he choked on a chicken nugget because he was mad that he couldn't make fun of his friend.
This is from Drew. We've been waiting for this one too. Hello to the great gents of the Invincible podcast. First timer here to email you guys. I've been meaning to since I started tuning in sometime mid last year. Anyway, I was glad to catch my first live stream from you guys post episode 6 2 weeks ago. Thanks again to TJ and Wyatt for sharing your gnarly tattoos. As I was telling y'all, I did it. This past Saturday, I got my very first superhero tattoo ever. My very first Invincible tattoo in Chicago. Hey, Drew, are you going to see 2 Although I do not have a sketch to share with you guys here, but I do have a pic of my tattoo I'd love to share with you guys and the community. Hope you guys all love it as much as I do. What do you guys suggest I get next? I'm thinking Eve or Tara. We shall see. I can't wait to tune into y'all's episode 8 reaction and recap. And I know you guys mentioned Alive too. It's right now. Thank you guys. Whether the season is over, reading new crossovers, rereading the book, new news on merch, etc. I always look forward to every episode you guys put out. It's always a treat, and it feels like I'm literally laughing and having a good time with y'all. Okay, sorry this is long-winded. Haha, all my love, Drew.
Let's see that tattoo.
Got the tattoo.
Oh, whoa.
So cool. It's basically the issue 100 cover, right? But maskless rather than with the mask on.
It was
really
cool.
I love the traditional style.
Yeah.
As well. Like it's not
fresh.
Like comic style. Yeah. It's very, very awesome.
That is really cool.
So
can you
who else next?
I like that his mask is off.
Yeah.
Can you pull up running on empty again? The last comment, because this is interesting. Somebody else asked me about this, and I don't know if it's the same person or not.
Hold on a second.
Oh,
I'm hiding that for a second. Can I show my tattoo first?
what do you mean?
Because I got mine, and I want
Did
to.
you really?
Yeah.
No.
So like,
How long is it take you to
He's
take
like,
that
I
shirt off?
wasn't at dinner. I was at the tattoo studio.
no, I was last week though. Again,
Oh.
light spoilers. Again, we don't have to talk about where this is, but this is a line from the comic.
I think I know what it is. I'm so excited. Yes.
There it
Put it in
is.
there.
That's so great, dude.
Nice. Very
That's
cool.
fucking awesome.
Wow.
Did
That's
it?
so cool.
Been wanting to for a while.
We
That's
all
great.
have invincible tattoos except
do.
Bill.
Except Bill.
What a loser. What a loser. Do you even like Invincible? Should we just mute him? Just mute him just because. Just because.
On that note, there's a question for me in the chat that says, Bill, how do you feel about the quote, "You don't live to see tomorrow" line in the show? I know you're not a fan of it in the comics, and I'm wondering if your opinion has changed. First of all, I haven't talked about that fucking line in the comics for 5 years. So you must have been listening for a very, very long time. And here's what I'll say. The way that I read it in my head, apparently I'm not a very good voice actor because I couldn't.
I know you're in the middle
like-
of this, but Alex Ortega, who you are commissioning work from, says, "Bill, let me do your Dinosaurus tattoo."
Bro,
Just
I see that
putting out
you're
there.
in. I see that you're in California. I'm in. We're on the East Coast, obviously, but fucking awesome. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Like
We'll
as
make
in
it happen.
draw it or actually tattoo it?
Maybe
Yeah, good
both.
question.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Is he tattooing himself in the?
it does
Is
look
that-
like he
it
might
looks
be.
like
That is a
tattooing
child. That is a child
Oh, okay.
tattooing himself.
Tattooing themselves.
Oh, Ryan, so is that a
Very
full
small.
grown man tattooing himself? No, it's a child. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, that makes sense.
himself. That's you were just immortal from episode 3. That is a child.
what?
I don't think I loved it in the show. I really did not like it at all in the comic book. I can't. It doesn't seem like a natural thing. Just like, spoiler alert, Mark says being a hero is bullshit, and I hate that line. I don't know why. It doesn't sound like Mark. It's unlike his character. I just don't think that I would talk
Well,
about time travel mid-fight. I don't know. I
Bill,
don't love it. I don't
I
love it.
think that they kept it because it's iconic to the book. I think
Yeah.
that if it wasn't,
I'm not mad
like-
about it. I'm not
No, I
mad
know.
about it.
I agree,
Yeah.
but I feel like they probably would have dropped it because I kind of agree with you. I don't know if it fits as well in the moment, but it's such an iconic line, and he still
And you
does a
know
killer
what?
job delivering.
He does. Stephen Young fucking crushed it, and that's why I was like, hearing it was a lot better than how I was reading it in my head because I was reading it in like because I didn't like it. But there's a lot of people that just I feel like I'm truly the minority here, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not bashing people who like it. I think that you're absolutely right if you love it, and you're right if you don't like it. And a lot of people fucking loved it. Like
And
react videos are like, oh my god.
Yeah, I get your critique of it, and even like what you're saying, Ryan, that it does feel almost a little out of place. And I think that's because Invincible does often take the action very seriously to remind you that it has stakes, and it never the action never necessarily feels cartoony.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love a good just like an anime moment where it's like there's a character who is mad, and we're going to show you how mad they are because they're going to say this really cool line before they go and fight you. And like, it is a little bit out of place, but it still like gets me hyped up in the moment watching it. Like it's, I enjoy it.
All right. Ryan, I'm going to put you totally on the spot here.
Oh no! Don't know.
Yeah, it may
What?
not work out for us. It may not
Oh,
work out.
okay. All right.
At the bottom of the doc, there's one that says from Alex Pritchett,
Oh,
sent an image, thinking of TJ in
Oh,
these
yeah.
trying times.
I
What
saw
is the
that, but I
image?
wasn't sure which out. Okay. I assumed it might be that one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it says out of your mouth. Out of yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. I gotta change.
There you go.
Where did this come from? Who did this?
Oh yeah, Alex Pritchett.
Yeah. Nice.
That's great.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank you. I'm glad I asked.
That's amazing.
I'm glad I asked.
Now I'm just picturing you doing the Will Smith thing of like walking up to the podium, slapping Robot.
Deep Rex's name out your fucking
And Robot being like,
mouth.
TJ just smacked the shit out of me.
Ting.
Do you slap Robot or the boy? So do you slap
good
little kid Rudy?
Oh,
Yeah.
first on the podium, and then on my way down.
Wyatt, I'm gonna put Wyatt on the spot now. Wyatt, can you actually? I could do it. There was one more image because I had to send an email that came in late. I could throw that one on because I'm gonna read that email soon. But you can find something else or do something else. I'll do it.
Got it. You are aware I can pilot my drones remotely, TJ.
Doesn't matter. Just you can kill me after that. Just one smack, and I can die happy.
I'm gonna go in. Hang on. Let me see our chat here and see which ones.
Oh, Bill Wyatt spoke up again. I tell you who my favorite character is this season, but let's just say you might not want to get too attached. Real nice.
Okay, here we go. This one is from our friend Luke. Hello, Ryan, Bill, Wyatt, and Rex Deween. I've been meaning to do a doodle, so I set the timer for 5 minutes and came up with this 7 minutes later. I'll show that now. It's really good.
Very good.
Really good.
Oh, are those her intestines?
Yep.
It seemed like such a lovely drawing of even mark, and then
You're right. I wish you hadn't
popped
pointed
out.
that out.
Yeah,
Dude.
I didn't catch that at first. That makes it really good, though. Like, it's still really good. Damn.
For Invincible Fan Art Fridays that I was doing like almost 2 years ago, I think it was Luke that sent in a sketch of Rexplode with his like arms out, and it was super sketchy like that too.
Mhm.
And it always sticks out in my mind because I love
Really?
that sketch. Yeah, it's so good. He's very good.
Yeah, I remember Luke drew you guys for the podcast at one point too.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Luke's very talented. Yeah, for sure.
Luke continues, if you can make another Image comic into an animated series, what title would you pick? My vote goes to Chew. Funny enough, there is a time when Steven Yeun was set to voice the main character, but it fell apart. Your friend and pal from the Invincible podcast, Luke. And he also wants us to do his Conquest voice challenge, which he sent a video and everything like that, but involved us acting and voice acting, and I got nervous. And didn't want to do it.
Let's do it. I'll do it. What is it? Is it just a line?
challenge?
I'd have to grab the video and the email. And then he sent that image as well. What Image comic? I mean,
Saga is the first one
Saga
that came to
animated.
mind, right? Yeah.
Oh.
But honestly, and I know we're still in like the early days of this comic. I mean, we're in the teens and the issues, but I love Void Rival so much. They're doing such a cool job with that. I wish that all of the people that are in charge of the Hasbro movie side of things, Hasbro animated things, just look at everything that Skybound is doing with the Energon universe and be like, how do we do that and adapt that kind of stuff for animation, for the movies, whatever. Like I'm enjoying Void Rival so much, and I feel like it could translate to like in the same way that we talk about Invincible being like a Saturday morning superhero cartoon, like Batman the Animated Series, but for adults. Like I feel like you could do that kind of G.I. Joe Transformers cartoon, but for a more like modern audience too. Like I think that would be awesome.
So Spawn has a movie from the 90s, which is great if you like. The camp is just awesome for the time, but it's not Spawn. And then we had the HBO series, which got canceled. Have you guys ever seen the HBO Spawn series?
Yeah.
TJ, it's fucking phenomenal.
No, I had heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
Dude,
I wasn't allowed to watch it, and I would sneak it.
Oh man, it ends on like Spawn. He says, "I want my humanity back," and it's him finally like, "Let's fucking go, let's do this," and it got canceled. So if they were to bring back Spawn, they could get 2 IPs out of it technically, because Haunt is in Spawn, and that would be awesome.
That'd
if
be
they
cool.
could you imagine if they did like a Haunt and Spawn, like either animated series, or I would love if it were an animated series again, but just I'm excited to see what they do with the movie, but it's not going to be if it's ever going to happen.
Seeing a lot of love for Oblivion Song, yes.
Yeah,
Oblivion Song would have probably would have been the one.
Imagine
that I was about
Oblivion
to say.
Song with like Scavenger's Reign animation.
Yeah.
I feel like Oblivion Song.
It is that.
There's
is
so
that.
many there, but I feel like there's so many comics like Saga. I don't think I want to see in live action because it is like almost too weird and too much. Whereas like I feel like Oblivion Song would work so well in live action. Like that, there's not enough things in Oblivion Song that make me go, oh, don't make that and don't do that. Like there's enough there that I would love to see that get sort of the big budget AAA. I'm talking about
there's supposedly a movie that's supposed to be with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
So
I just mean that's what I mean.
If
If there are people wanting to invest in that property and put some eggs in the basket, put them in the live action basket. Give us a great movie.
Give us
a lot of some people are saying Chroma too. Chroma would be awesome.
I love black and white. Like, oh, that would be great.
So one that I'll say, Radiant Black, yeah. One that I'll say too is I don't know for animation though. I think I would take it as animation and it would work, but it would be even fucking crazier live action. Redneck was such a good book, and it was just fucking crazy, but it was funny too. Like,
is that the vampire? That's vampires, right?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
You had me read like the first.
Yeah, and you liked it.
I did like it. Yeah, I think. Oh, so I read a lot of it, and then I bought the next trade, and I accidentally bought it in Spanish, and I was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, TJ, why is it like? Did it change? And then I'm like, no, that's the Spanish one.
I remember you saying that. I just remembered what my real answer is. I need an animated with the budget of like a good Pixar movie or like Into the Spider-Verse of Murder Falcon and of Do a Powerbomb. I need both of those to be movies that have that amount of budget, because they would be, I think, as successful as like an Into the Spider-Verse, as successful as the biggest like Pixar movies. They are so like he does such a good job, Daniel Warren Johnson, of giving you a premise that you can read in like 2 sentences and go, oh, that would be fun. And then you go along for the ride and you have that fun, and then you cry profusely. Like and that's exactly what like Pixar tries to do with their stories, and have had, more success, I feel like, years ago than they typically do now. And reading Murder Falcon specifically, I was just like, man, this would just kill as an animated movie, especially with how much music is like integrated into that story. That I would love it.
A lot of good ones in the chat.
There are.
Outcast would be cool.
Ascender.
I was going to say Descender, and then the predecessor Ascender would be amazing.
Even Rins are bringing up a Walking Dead animated, but to the comic, that'd be so fun.
Oh, here we go. Cool. R-rated MCU Destroyer. Let's go.
That would be cool.
Destroyer.
Hashtag always Destroyer. Don't do
always
it.
Destroyer.
Mitch is the one that's always right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully he's not in the chat. Not that I don't want him in the chat, but I just want Destroyer to be like a thing
represented.
Yeah.
Oh, Mara mentioned Ultra Mega as well. I need to get caught up on that because I know that's come back since I last stopped reading. But that book is insane. It was
a lot of fun.
The first volume was incredible. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go, Murad.
Should we do another giveaway?
Yeah, let's do another one.
What do we got for this giveaway?
For this one again, it is it's Escape from Mars again.
Okay.
All right. So
another
if you
copy
don't
of Escape
have
from Mars. Yeah, if you already have one, let somebody else get it maybe.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it based on when they show up in the chat, right? Just giving everybody time to get ready. Pull out your keyboard.
This one's a little easier than the last one, and the last one you guys got instantly. So, but it's not. I don't know. It's a little different than you think. It's kind of a curveball. So get your typing fingers ready.
US only, please.
US only, please. Yes, thank you. And then email at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com with your info, and we'll send it out to you.
Okay, I'm playing too.
We are staying. You have to type it in the private chat, Bill. Don't scream it out.
I got it.
All right. So, keeping in with the animated series, season 3, episode 3, but we're going podcast. What did I doodle for season 3, episode 3?
I got it in the chat.
Oh yeah, Wyatt already got it. God damn it!
Shoot.
Another reason why I hate Wyatt. It's 100% it.
That's it. You're
I
right.
might have started working on the season told through our doodles, so I was just looking at it.
Ooh, this one's a little taking people a little more time.
They're guessing one. They're guessing
No.
something, but it's
No one's gotten it yet. No one's gotten it.
Somebody said the orchid. I believe that was Ryan's.
Oh, the plant.
doodle.
That was me. I drew the plant.
Mhm.
Oliver
No.
Bloody was my drawing, Connor.
No,
That was
still-
episode 1.
But was episode 1.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, do we take it?
Ball. We'll give it to Ball. We'll give it to
Ball,
Ball.
can you expound on that? Maybe
Expound?
I drew the tethers.
Yeah, Bill drew the tethers.
Yeah.
I like the idea that they're just going back to our YouTube channel right now and trying to bring up the
We're going to our Twitter. Hey, while you're on our
Who's
Twitter, make sure you subscribe.
No, Rinsler.
We did say we'd give it to Ball, so I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. We'll give it to
Yeah,
Ball,
okay.
but it is the Mauler's foot.
Yeah.
That is
And
what I drew.
Alex Ortega put Mahler's murdered. So Bill, just give him an extra large tip on your commission as his compensation for that, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah.
How they're...
Well, congrats.
Oh man.
Make sure you email the podcast and we'll
Yes.
get that up to you. I'll send
Yeah.
that to you.
Cool.
Alex says
Alright.
thanks. Wyatt.
It's harder because I'm an audio listener. Yeah.
True.
Oh,
We
Man.
talk about it though, right? Don't we?
We try to.
Don't we
Yeah,
say what it
yeah.
is?
We usually bring it up.
well, we posted it on our Twitter too, so make sure you're.
Yeah,
All
Chris,
right.
I know Bill Wyatt has given us another verse in the scriptures. I know.
The guy who
God
designed these
damn it!
characters would be really proud of how they're looking
From the
this season.
scriptures.
I feel like we have to give Bill Wyatt some question that only Robert Kirkman and or Ryan Otley could answer.
Or
I do
Corey
think-
Walker. Or Corey Walker because
or Corey Walker.
I do think that Bill
Who knows?
Wyatt has exposed himself as not being Ryan Otley, because if we ask, I could draw the most perfect, amazing thing and put it in front of Ryan Otley, and he'd be like, "That's trash. Get it on my face." He would roast me for it. He'd roast me.
Bill Wyatt, he's challenge accepted. Okay, where did we record our interview with you, Bill Wyatt? If
Other
you
listeners
are-
would know this.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
They might. There is a way to find that out.
Where you
I
have
mean,
to
if
do it right away.
Otley, if it was Otley, he could just message us right now and say, "Hey, by the way,
That's
that's
true.
me in the
That's
chat."
true. Send Ryan a DM if you're.
I think
actually-
Ryan
you were trying to
Ryan
do
Otley would want, ever since Hulk, I think he would torture me to the day I die about this. I don't think he would ever admit
possible.
that this was him.
Possible.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill Wyatt's kind of quiet. We asked a question.
Maybe
Where's the
he's,
answer?
you know, he's trying to send a DM right now.
Oh,
He says he's got
connection
internet
problems.
connection
Hold
problem.
on. Someone else got it.
He's just
I
fast
gotta-
forwarding through our
Yeah,
interview
is
with
this a
Otley.
game of Among Us? Is everyone sus?
Who's real? Are any of you guys real in the fucking chat? I don't know.
We banned Bill Wyatt, and then it just says he was not one of the creators.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
Hotel
I got an
lobby.
email here.
You got it.
Mm.
You have that short of a memory, though. I mean, we did end up in the hotel lobby,
Yes.
but
Listen,
yeah,
We can just
think-
start advertising
Has it
as
been that
like,
long?
come to our live chats, because who knows in the chat?
Who knows?
Because we don't.
Who knows? Yeah. Yo, if I was Kirkman or Otley and I had a free Friday night, I'd be trolling in here.
Oh, I'd
I
troll the
wouldn't-
fuck out of
yeah,
this
I'd come up
dude.
with a bogus name, and yeah, for sure.
You know what? If Jose, if someone could go back and actually do the work to see how many pizza bets are owed, I can tell you this right now.
It's too
They're
much.
all still owed
Yeah.
because none of them
lot of
have
work.
been paid. So you don't have to do any subtraction. It's only addition. It's way more than 6.
Yeah,
more.
it's got to be more than that.
But they've balanced out so many times that I'm sure one of us only owes like 2 people a pizza.
I
Yeah.
disagree. I think I owe a lot
Because
of
like
pizzas to a
you
lot of
probably owe
people.
TJ 3, TJ probably owes you 4, I probably owe TJ. You know what I mean? It's gonna be one of those.
Bill
where it nets out.
absolutely owes the most out of all of us.
Yeah,
Without-
I'm not
Yeah,
even going to
you're
try to. Ryan, I appreciate if what you're doing.
I
is
was
trying
just
to help
throwing
me.
random numbers. I wasn't trying to
That's-
be accurate.
Well,
Bill says pizza bet like it's Monopoly money. He knows he's never got to actually pay up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah, fuck yeah. And if I have to, it's like, okay, I'll buy you a pizza. Like, it's not the end of the world. You know, just don't ask for all of them at once because that won't happen.
I have a question to not necessarily to wrap up, but we may be wrapping up. We've been at it for about hour 40. Not necessarily, but to bring it back to Invincible, to season 3. Does everyone feel confident in what their favorite episode of the season was so far?
Wyatt, it's not even a question in my mind. It is one of my favorite episodes of anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what it is.
Yeah, I feel like I know.
Come on. It's episode 7. Come on.
I mean, we're going to go in depth on this on our wrap up. Give favorite episode, favorite scene, favorite, music moment. I want to save all those.
It's all the same episode.
Maybe
favorite. Yeah, come on.
I obviously 7 and 8
performance in that episode. Don't say what it is though.
That may be, I don't know. That one I'd have to think about. That may be the only one.
Yeah,
I don't know. Well,
we'll see. And if there's any other accolades or whatever those are called, we got to think of some.
Yeah, we should do like essentially awards. Little awards for a wrap up episode for sure.
I can't tell if Murad is being episode 4 Prison Break. It was also my favorite issue.
I love that.
Crazy. That's crazy. You might be the only one in the whole world. It's not crazy like you're nuts, but it's like no one.
Depends on what you like and what you want out of it, especially because 7 and 8. 7 has some humor in it. There's some humor throughout the Invincible War, but 7 and 8 are heavy things. And thinking back to that Prison Break episode, Seth Rogen is so funny in that episode. His conversation with Battle Beast, Sir Beast.
Oh wait. I was thinking maybe episode 5. I was thinking episode 5. Sorry. I retract.
That also
was crazy.
That also had Prison Break. Yeah. I feel I understand more when you say 5 would be crazy.
Okay.
I still think it's okay if that's somebody's favorite, but yeah.
I think it's unfair right now to ask anybody that question because everybody is so fucking high on Conquest that instinctively you're gonna be like, it's the best, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. But I feel like if I were to watch it all in its entirety, I would probably still say Conquest. But if I did it a third time all the way through, I don't know. My opinion might change.
And if I watched it upside down while eating a hot dog, then maybe I would like the first episode the most.
Maybe
possibly so.
I do love the idea. I saw somebody mention that, I think it was in our chat of our breakdown episode that somebody said watching 7 and 8 back to back feels like watching a movie. And I kind of want to edit the two of them together with no break in between. You know what I mean? Just to see because people have done that with the Hobbit movies where they cut out scenes and just exactly that and I wouldn't cut anything out of it, but just stitching them together, it would be an hour and a half or something like that, a little over that, to be a little movie. Because that's the other thing, trying to pick a favorite between those two, because it is easily between those two for me. It's between 7 and 8. It's they're so tied together because Conquest works as well as it does because it's right after the Invincible War. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're tied together. It's hard for me to separate them. But I mean,
guys,
I'd probably lean 8.
You know what's funny is that we open up every, hey, what's your favorite Invincible issue or part other than Conquest? It's going to be the same thing for the show. Obviously, you have to. Everybody says Conquest, so you have to think of something else. So that's going to be probably what we're going to have to do, other than 7 and 8. Pick something else. What would it be?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Needle Drop is definitely going to be one. We'll think of some others.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good one. I'm going to do this email real quick. This is from Dom. Hello, Invincible Podcast team. First off, I'd just like to say thanks for the episode reactions that you have been doing for the entire show. It's funny that I've only started watching/listening to your podcast since season 3 started, as I've been a fan of the comic since before the show started. So I must have been living under a rock or living in a reality created by a strange blue tentacle spaghetti monster where your podcast didn't exist. I was thrilled to find out that we have common tastes, as you've mentioned on the live stream, being fans of Kinda Funny. The Kinda Funny podcast was one of the first podcasts I listened to regularly and got me into reading Invincible when Greg would talk about it. Anyway, on to the show. I loved episode 7, as it was everything I wanted and more. From the new character intros to the fight sequences, I simply felt like it was made directly for the massive Invincible fan in my heart. My prediction for episode 8 is that we get left on a big cliffhanger. I think we'll see certain someone, Eve, come to help Mark, and then something very devastating will happen, which cuts to Mark and then cut to black. Thoughts? Well, this was sent before it happened, which it didn't happen that way, but we did get that. Keep up the great work. I've been really enjoying your breakdowns. Much love from the UK, Dom. And then Dom wrote again to say, I have been reading Radiant Black as I wanted to reread the first few volumes as I hadn't read Catalyst War yet. So it was funny to find that the podcast / news team was none other than you guys when I started watching your podcast. You guys have been indirectly in my life already without me knowing it.
That's amazing.
We're everywhere.
From the UK, Dom. How crazy.
I think I would lose my mind if I was like reading Murder Falcon and then I went to a different topic completely, opened up a podcast, and it was the characters from Murder Falcon.
That's
It
what we did.
my mind. You know what I mean? Like exactly. That must have been a crazy experience.
That's really cool.
Oh, that's fun. Rinsler says that we should pick best moment and best voice actor after reviewing each episode for season 4. Oh, so like a fun like segment, like do the episode recap and then talk about like our favorite moment and then we kind of talk about our favorite moments like in the beginning ish. Yeah. But I think that's not bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm always down to try new things for our breakdowns. That's something that like now's a good time. We've got a bunch of listeners in the chat. We're done with season 3 breakdowns. Is there something you'd like to see different with season 4 breakdowns?
Yeah.
Something like any other type of segment or do something differently in the way we do it. Because now, while it's fresh in our minds, is there something you would have liked to see? And hopefully we'll...
Rinsler says, yes, do a new segment.
Like
what segment?
What? I think he was responding to you saying like,
okay.
Segment. Yeah.
Got it.
Matt said less Bill.
That's good.
You know what? I was hoping someone would say less TJ.
Hell yeah.
I win.
Mhm.
I win.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like the best performance, or even just like I know people have brought up like MVP of the season. You could do MVP of like the episode too.
The episode.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, kind of funny. He's doing something similar like that with their Alien in review.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, Bill, you'd be so mad about their Alien 3 review.
Oh yeah.
Really? You guys were telling me they did a rewatch and stuff like that. Alien 3.
They're not a fan of 3.
Alien 3 is like I don't know.
You have to grow up with it. You have to see it when you're young.
You do. It doesn't.
It doesn't hold up. It doesn't. But I still like it.
Here's the thing. You can't watch Chris Wise sucks. Okay. You can't. He wanted less me to begin with, so it doesn't matter. Alien 3. I'm going to defend it. You have to watch the director's cut. The expanded, stop it. Stop doing that.
I have too much power. I came
right when you said, I'm going to defend this.
Yeah, I know. So Alien 3, like you have to watch the director's cut because I watched the director's cut and then the plain version after, and it literally makes no sense compared to
that's the problem.
The director's cut. Have you seen the director's cut, Ryan?
No.
Oh my God.
And even the kind of funny review, they're like, we're just sticking with the theatrical versions of all these things. And they they said, we know the other one's probably better, but we're going at this from a very so maybe I'll agree with them. Yeah, we'll see.
Man.
All right.
When you list the director and writing credits at the start of the breakdown, you could mention the animation studio too. I think animation studio's awareness is low. That's a really, really good idea.
Yeah,
I agree.
But I don't know. It's one of those ignorance things. I would love to. We try to call out director. We want to call out as many credits as we can.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do the credits in each episode specify which studio works on which episode, and do multiple studios work on one episode? I always assumed it was multiple studios per episode, and it was just kind of like a blanket. Like, I'm not sure. In the credits, it follows after storyboards. Cool. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Definitely when we start season 4, we'll have to
TJ,
look
because I think
and make sure that if we can, we should, because that's a great idea.
Because KJ, I think you were the one that might have mentioned it earlier, or was it in the chat? I don't know. Today's a long day, but like Maven being like, oh, Maven did season 1 finale, and this episode, and like being able to call out like when certain studios do certain episodes.
Even just for our own like understanding too, because there's lots of times where I'll see that after the fact where people are like, oh, this studio was working on this and they did that, and a lot of times it's news to me even after we've done the breakdowns because I'm not necessarily looking into that stuff.
TJ, do you want to read Chris Wise's impression of me about me watching? Do you want to do that? Do you see it?
want the director's cut. That's how he said it, right? I didn't exaggerate.
It's a little bit more up here.
That's how we know. That's how we know. That's how we know that the beef between Bill and TJ is really just a secret love because Bill was like, "Oh, somebody's making fun of me." TJ, you want to do it? Like you're teaming up to make fun of me.
Listen, you've been out of friendship for 20 years. You got to keep it interesting.
Yeah, I agree. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Let's see. Bill Wyatt says, "What do you think would happen if Mark ever faced a villain who had absolutely no weakness, not even a moral one?"
I mean, it's that's a good hole to write a character into, I suppose. Like not having anything. One of the things I love about like a lot of Invincible is Mark wanting to just talk it out. Like there's the whole bit with him and Alan in the very beginning of just like talking it out. And then he sort of tries to do that to Conquest and gets stopped from doing that. But yeah, I always love that when they can show Mark not always just jumping to fighting and punching, but talking it out.
I really think.
Did you guys? Sorry, go on. No, go ahead. I was going to change the subject.
Change it. Go ahead.
You'd have to use his head. Yeah. Did you guys mention Braden's comment in YouTube on YouTube? Bill, you threw it in the chat. I've got it right here if you want me to read it.
Yeah, go ahead. You can read it. Yeah.
Also, Braden says via YouTube comments that he couldn't make the live chat tonight. However, if you guys read the comments, I'd love for you guys to, if you could share your thoughts on a theory / headcanon. I saw some people say that Mark is different / stronger than other Viltrumites because he has adrenaline. Personally, I like this headcanon, but I'm not living by it. Congrats on your 9th anniversary. I'm still so glad I found your channel. And I can drop
channel.
So yeah, that was Braden over on YouTube. So I put up spoiler warning just in case we get into it right here. But
I have never heard this headcanon before.
Yeah.
Neither have I. So the fact that he is part human and that he has adrenaline, whereas Viltrumites wouldn't, is that the?
Do we know that? I mean, first we would have to know that Viltrumites don't have adrenaline.
But that's the headcanon, is that it's like, maybe they don't, and he does because he's part human.
I mean, they're different species, so there has to be differences between them.
Yeah.
So I wonder. But
I think it's fun. It's interesting, but I think
didn't Nolan say that he would be like in a few short years would be full-blooded Viltrumite because it's so strong and overpowering, so pure that it's going to overpower the human side of him, and he'll be full-blooded.
But he also talks about that human and Viltrumite DNA is so close that's why that the older he gets, the more Viltrumite he would be.
I think it's an interesting thing. I don't, think that that's the case. I think it's more that he has been. I think it's, and the show has really strengthened this. It's Debbie. Like Debbie is what made him stronger. That he has that human side. He has something to fight for. And given this Conquest monologue, like he has, a reason to fight, and he has that kind of connection that I think leads to him actually being stronger. And it's what Debbie hinted towards with Nolan at the end of that flashback in the season 1 finale about being human, and that's what makes you human. And I think it's more that makes him different and stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris says, I always thought humans are emotional creatures, and the rage that fuels them is more intense because of that humanity. So it's like the difference between Vulcans and Star Trek and humans, like where, I honestly think it's more of that. I think that Viltrumites don't have like an emotional connection to anything, so they don't have a drive to
the drive. They
don't have the drive to protect that person over there, or
even Conquest calling it out in the finale about Eve, like. Having that connection I think it's more that. All right.
And I also don't think that, and this is such a McClunky. Tune into our Fortnite stream if you want to know about McClunky. I've also never been like in the camp of like, oh, Mark is the strongest Viltrumite who ever lived. Like, even I'm glad we're in comic book spoilers because I'm gonna say a comic book spoilery thing from later on in the comic. Even on the fight with the sun, Robot's armor shows up to help, and like he survives that because he's got friends and because of that, and like I don't think he walks away from he doesn't really walk away from a lot of the fights he won because he's the strongest. I think it is like that's not really the point of his story. The point of his story is who the Viltrumites are and who Mark is, and it's about which one of those is the right thing to try and be.
And that's kind of what I was getting at with the Debbie thing too. It's having that family, it's having those connections. It's look what we made. Like it's that connection. Whether
that's
it's
what makes you stronger than actual strength makes you.
So Rinsler is asking if we think the blood of Arguall plays a factor in it. I do, because I think that Arguall probably had the most humanity in him. Like he was the most human-like, which is what made him a better Viltrumite than like all the rest. I think that's my headcanon anyways. Like when I thought about
Sorry, go Bill. I'm interrupting.
No.
Go.
No, I just said that was like when I was reading the comic, like how they talk about Arguall and like how they share blood. That's what I always thought, is that Arguall was closer to a human and that he had humanity. He wasn't like the Viltrumites of now, and that's why he had the upper hand. But I don't know, maybe his blood is super blood, like the Codex from Man of Steel, whatever the fuck that thing is.
I assumed that it was partially that, like, if he was sort of their previous emperor, he was probably like a Thrag-like character, that was physically stronger than a lot. And just like everything, like, it's not all nature and it's not all nurture. I'm sure Mark was like, just through his genes and the blood of Arguall, primed to be very strong and a powerful Viltrumite, but it's also his humanity and his friendships and those things that may end up making him stronger. I think it's the combination of the two that make him title card.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Oh, that made me want coffee.
This is water, but
that was Ryan's little passive way of being like, oh, I gotta go get this coffee. Time to wrap up this.
No, we are wrapping up, but I'm not gonna have coffee this late.
If anyone has any last questions for us, suggestions for future content, what we'll say 5 more minutes.
Sure.
Kind of wrap it up around 10:30.
Man, I'm fascinated by the Arguall stuff.
Yeah, why is Arguall assassinated by Thetis if he was more human, though? Not disagreeing. I literally can't remember if that's said. Yeah, I don't remember if, like, so was Arguall villainous? Like, was he a villainous dictator? And that's why Thetis
Thrag keeps the skull, right? And it seems in a way that he like reveres it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but then it's also a big deal that Nolan and Mark also have the blood of Arguall, so then you'd think that they would be kind of evil if his blood is tainted. So it's like a catch-22. Was he a dictator? And that's why he got murdered, but he was so strong and he gave that to Mark and Nolan? Or was it because he was not like a true Viltrumite, and that's why? Because Thetis, he left because he didn't like what he did. Like he's not proud that he killed Arguall, is he?
Yeah.
Like it was just a really quick shot of the bone in the head.
Stabbing him.
Yeah.
This
is good shit. This is the
I know.
shit.
I'm so excited to see how they expand the Arguall stuff in the
show. Of anything that is there's so many future plot lines that I'd love to have them pick up and do stuff, especially after 144 and everything. Like we could go all day about that. Of anything previous, like prequel stuff, that's the one. Like that's the one that I would love to see if they did a comic. If they did, could you imagine if they did like the Adam Eve style game, but it's Arguall and you're learning like the history of Viltrum in this like story based game? Like that would be cool. I would love that.
Arguall is one of those words that's starting to not sound right though. The more we say it, like Arguall, it just sits in your throat weird.
Arguall.
Like Arguall.
Jake, we have Jake's
Arguall, the Arguall.
We do have a drawing and email from Jake. Can we do that real quick?
Yeah, do it.
Jake in the chat right now. Hey guys, I just started watching the podcast and I thought it was cool that you guys like drawing and showing fan art. I wanted to send in a drawing I did recently of one of Ryan Otley's sketches of Invincible. And this is from Jacob Lynch. I believe is this one right here.
Oh,
Hey,
good.
Ooh, wow.
wow.
It's fantastic.
He's over there's his TikTok and Instagram.
Can I just say, I love whenever in a superhero costume you see like the folds in the fabric. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
around, like on the
more
eye
loose.
there is just like love that stuff.
How do you know? How do you know that that's where a fold goes? For Christ's sake,
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. I feel like that's the reason I end up liking it. Like,
Yeah.
man, how'd you know to do that? It looks so perfect. It looks real.
Alex Ortega asks, where do you think Shrinking Ray's story will go? I was going to ask this earlier in the stream, but then I got distracted. We have to see her again. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think it's going to lead to like more sad? Do you think like she's just kind of going to be written off the show because she doesn't want to be a hero? Like where does that go?
I would love to see her somehow weaved into Angstrom's future story because it's Angstrom's fault that Rex is gone.
Putting it up.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I would love to see her somehow connected to that and having a chance to kind of pay Angstrom back in a way.
I'd like to see her again. I haven't put too much thought into it because we just finally found out what happened. I want to see her reaction and her involved in the Rex / robot storyline after a certain time skip and kind of wrestling with who that person is and his identity and what he ultimately does in 111. Like I think she might play into 111 in a very very
for sure
rough way.
Do you think that she's going to be sexually attracted to Rudy in Rex form?
Maybe. I don't know. I wonder how future Rudy...
I mean, it's not unrealistic to think that, right? Like she obviously was attracted to fucking Rex.
It's not unrealistic. It's just very specific.
He always looked much older than her version of what we saw in the comics. Like he looks like he's in his like
yeah. We see. Well, because Rex died in
he has the
like
beard.
his
He usually has the
20s,
beard,
right? Like
I did like
19,
though that
20.
somebody brought up, I want to say it was on the subreddit, that like there was a shot from one of the episodes of Rex and Ray in his room when they're like in their casual clothes, and then next to it they put a shot of Rudy and Amanda, and like Ray had her hair in a ponytail the same way that Amanda has it, and it's kind of like we get a little preview of what Rudy and Amanda are going to look like as adults on the show with Rex and Ray.
Yes.
Like it's
in that
cool.
episode, I think it's the same one. She stops, she looks at them after Rudy like gives Amanda the belt, and she like smiles, and then she goes up and talks to Rex. I think you're absolutely right. Like I think the whole relationship thing is going to tie into what happens with Rudy and Amanda, and I think that's really cool. That's what I'm excited for
sure. Everyone in the chat is just trying to, they haven't let Bill Wyatt go. They're just trying to figure out who Bill Wyatt is.
Well, I think Ryan's yawn kind of puts a period.
TJ, are you rubbing your ear yet? Your headphones off to the side.
TJ was headphones off to the side.
I was playing with it. Means I'm tired.
Well, thank you to everybody for hanging out in the chat and like doing these live streams with us. I can't imagine it is our last live stream. I'm sure we'll end up doing more in the future to just hang out with the chat when big stuff's happening. We have so much still coming, obviously, with doing some episodes where we just kind of give our final thoughts on season 3, doing some rankings, hopefully some like awards like we were talking about and all that. And then we're in Battle Beast zone. Like that's, I'm so excited, by the way, to just be in a podcast with you guys breaking down a comic again. Like I haven't gotten to do that since Chroma, really, and that is so much fun to do that and go page by page that I'm excited for that. That'll be fun.
Yep. And we'll have a Fortnite stream again soon, maybe just a quick one where we get duplicate and run around with
her. I got to get my back bling of my mug, you know what I mean?
Shrinking Ray, yes.
Yeah.
We'll be at C2E2, and we have some ideas for some fun special episodes this year too. I think that we'll get to. So
that's right. And if you guys didn't plug it already, keep an eye on our TikTok too. Wyatt and everybody have been doing a good job making some fun videos to keep that alive over there.
Bill took over today. Bill took over.
just-
Yeah,
Bill
it was
take-
Bill heavy. I'm sorry for all the Bill
Yeah.
haters out there. You
It's
might
the
want to
Bill
stay
war.
off of it for a little while. Yeah.
Bill take over.
All right, guys. Well, this was fun. Until next
Thanks, guys.
time.
We'll see
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Do I have an outro to play?
I'll just keep waving like this.
You can just keep
Saying
waving.
bye.
Keep waving. We'll play
I can
something.
do it. This is so awkward.